afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon. How are we all doing? I hope we're doing fabulous and enjoying the snow. So today, as you know, it is, so I'm just going to move my camera. It's a bit wonky. There we go. It's Technique Tuesday. Hey, so I was thinking, what better way, which exercises should we do our Technique Tuesday for? So, Technique Tuesday today, as it was very related because we did it today, boxing. So I thought, no weights today, let's just do some boxing techniques. So, hello everyone, a very good afternoon. Again, I'm Coach Katie, for those that don't know me. So, it's really important when you do your boxing that you have your boxing stance, and you're either going to be southpaw or orthodox. Now, what that means is, it's just the direction and the one that has your leading leg at the front. Now, whenever you do this, make sure you always have the same leading leg throughout the whole punches. So there's no point doing your jab cross with your left leg, and then later on when the round comes, you switch, and then you do the opposite one, because it's kind of a bit of a unspoken rule in the boxing world. So whichever leg is your leading leg, whether that's southpaw or orthodox, whichever way, that is going to be the same arm that punches forward. So really important that. So you're always going to be in a boxing stance. Like I always say, it's going to be a calf stretch sort of position, but the back leg rotates around a 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, maybe even 4 o'clock, around there, that angle. So you want it slightly bent, you want them nice and bent. So imagine you were boxing, you'd be on your toes, so you keep it nice and, just keep it nice and controlled. So I'm just gonna move my camera, I feel really wonky. There we go. And then from there, whichever leg is at the front is gonna be the one that punches first. So whenever you punch, you really need to remember that your thumb's on the outside, your wrists are nice and flat. If you punch like this, you're gonna really hurt yourself. Particularly when we go back to eventually the so-called a new normal and we're now able to pair up. If you're doing this and punching on the pads, you're going to hurt yourself. So what I always say, thumbs on the outside, wrists are nice and flat. Now, you want to keep your block position the whole time. Now, when you do this, you want to make sure that when you punch, if you were looking in the mirror, so imagine this is my mirror, I shouldn't be able to see my back shoulder. So when I punch the first time, I don't see my back shoulder, look at that. Hey? So that's how you want to punch. So you don't see your back shoulder. So you punch. Aim for your chin in front. So notice the hips slightly rotate. Well, the hips stay center, but then it's the shoulder that rotates and you push forward. So you don't see that back shoulder. From there, you're going to rotate and then you're going to do the cross. So remember, the cross is the stronger punch. So that's always the way. Now sometimes it's only I'm choosing boxing today just because I did see a couple people, and I'm not pointing any finger, any blame, but I did see a few people just overexerting, and I call this, as you know, granny punches. So we don't want to do those, because when we do that, look, we're putting pressure in the hip. Some punches we see people do the Phil Mitchell punch and they overexert like that. So you want to make sure that you don't do those, okay? You want to make sure you keep your core engaged, you're in your boxing stance. Yeah, you always want to make sure that every exercise you do, you keep your core squeezed. Thumbs on the outside. Now practice this in the mirror. So if you have a mirror, as I said, aim for your chin in front and get rid of that back shoulder. So punch, one, that's your jab. Then your cross, have a look, cross. So I aim for my chin in front, but notice my back foot pivots. So remember, Ross from Friends, he comes in and he says the word pivot. So all you got to do, remember that. Whenever you do anyone that's on the back of the back punch, pivot, yeah? So you just add that little bit of pivot. So I'm just giving these extra little bit of techniques to help you. Like I said, I don't want you to hurt yourself. So core nice and engaged. Let's practice this. We're going to be in our boxing stance. One leg facing towards the opponent, the front, and then the leg slight at an angle. Remember, it's not here, so otherwise that's going to be really out of control. So you need to move that leg over a slightly. Slight bend. So it's jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. So that's how we really get in the motion. Now, as you notice, I'm just punching straight ahead. I'm not punching over, okay? Keeping it nice and controlled. So eventually, when we go to the gym and you'll be in partners and you're holding either the gloves, you'll be going boom, boom, okay? And then even when we're doing future on a punch bag, you won't be out of control, okay? So it's really important that the arm is bent and then it extends. So even if it's not locked out, still a slight little flexion in the elbow, okay? From there, so that was your jab cross. From there, I want to go and talk to you about your So we always, in boxing, so we call them punches 1 and 2. Then we're going to talk about your punches 3 and 4, which is your hooks. So remember, with your hooks, as I always say in classes, elbow, shoulder, wrist in line. So look at that. So I've got a perfect sort of a right angle, isn't it? Sort of. So when you do this, I always say to everyone, before you begin, always be in your boxing stance. Now imagine our twist. So we do our rotational twist, don't we? When we warm up. So you can feel it in the core. So from there, rotate. Now it's also another important factor. Your thumbs up and then you put it down. So don't have the thumb like this and don't punch like this. When you punch like this, that could put quite a lot of pressure on our wrists, okay? Alternatively, I've seen all sorts of punches, but don't have the fingertips facing towards the opponent. Fingertips towards you, thumb up, that's how you know, and then punch there. So don't punch like that, punch like that. Well, that's the boxercise way that I got taught. So, core nice and tight. Practice those twists for punches 3 and 4, okay? Practicing those, and then we'll take away one arm. Take away one arm, so punch. So it goes by the side, punch, punch. So this punch, we're aiming for the head of the opponent, okay? Punch, and then we're going to add our other one, punch. So notice I pivoted my back foot, punched, and I kept my elbow, shoulder in line. So what that looks like all together, hook, 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 okay? Now, as always, your punches are going to be a lot stronger on one side more than the other, particularly will be the backhand. So let's just recap. We've done our jab crosses, jab, cross. Then we've done our hooks, hook, hook. So again, it's the same principle, pivot, okay? Remember, elbow, thumb, shoulder, wrist in line. From here, we're going to do our punches 5 and 6. And then we've got 2 more punches and then we're done. So your punches 5 and 6 are your body ones. So they're aiming for the opponent's ribs. So when we do this, it's a squat and a lunge, remember that. So you're in a boxing stance, it's kind of like a side squat. So a side squat and then a lunge. So notice my hip rotates to the front. So a side squat, lunge. So you're not all the way down here, it's just a little pop one. So remember yesterday we did like pop lunges, we did half a little ones, it's like that. So half a squat, lunge, okay? So when we do our 5 and 6, it's the same principle as your 3 and 4s, but you're just aiming for the ribs. So you're here, okay? So you squat down, 5 and then 6. 5, 6, 5, 6. So honestly, if we had pads, obviously they'd be like this for jab cross, then for the hooks. So all they do with the pads, you just hold them here. So they're like chest level roughly. So then the other person can go boom, boom. So just remember that, everyone. So we had our 3, 4. So if we did it from our 3, 4s, punches, hooks, hook, hook. So that's far too high, sorry. Hook, hook. And then we go down into the squat, squat, lunge sort of. Now I know some of you have knee issues. So again, if you can't go so low, that's not an issue. But take a look at this. So notice how all the punches link all in one. So remember, squat, hooks. Yeah, squat, body hook. And then have a look. Your jab, cross, jab, cross. So you drive up, jab, cross. So from your 5, 6, jab, uppercut, uppercut, not jab, cross. So you don't have to be low with your uppercuts, but obviously because they're aiming for the opponent's upper, so you're aiming underneath. So you just drive up, drive up. So it's important to drive up that back leg. So thumbs on the outside, elbows in, core nice and tight, up, up. So again, same principle. Notice I always pivot my back leg. So drive up, and again, it looks sort of a bit more like a lunge again, but facing the center. The foot at the back rotates forward. So let's recap from the 5, 6, and then the 7, 8. So that's what we call them, uppercuts, 7, 8s. So body hooks, body hook, body hook. Then notice I stay here, and then I could drive straight into it. Drive up, drive up. So if you had the pads, they'd be like this. So remember, uppercuts, any punch you do, thumbs on the outside, wrists are flat. Uppercuts, I see, only because today, again, I saw quite a few punches up here. So you don't want to do your uppercuts there. Drive up, up. Obviously, be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. So when you do this, drive up, and you keep it nice and tight. They're not out here, they're not up here. Yeah, you just keep them drive up, drive up. So let's recap everything. And then if you've got any questions, guys, now's the time to type in your questions, okay? So boxing stance, core nice and tight, shoulders, get them back, chest up, let's start. So we're gonna go watch and notice, watch how it all connects in a sequence. How you go down in height and then you start up. So have a look, watch. Jab, cross, hook, hook, body hook, upper, upper, jab, cross, hook, hook, body hook, upper, upper. Yeah? So notice that. Does anyone have any questions? If you are pivoting, that's another question for later on, or another time that we do pivot. But if you do your movements, you'd like in your boxing today, you're just on your toes, keeping it nice and engaged, jab, cross. And the beauty is, you can practice this. So you practice this today, all your jab crosses and everything. Oh, thank you so much, Susan. And then literally, like I said, the best thing to do is practice in the mirror, have a look, jab, cross, so make sure you can't see the back shoulders, have a look at the elbow and shoulders, down, down, and then up, up. I really just want you to all really practice those. So that's your homework from me, because next week in boxing, and even tonight, if you're doing it tonight, I want to see fantastic technique. I don't want to see uppercuts up here. Like don't do your uppercuts there. Don't do the punches out here. Keep a nice tight core, okay? Remember, form is the most important thing that you can do, okay? There's no point rushing the exercises, just always have good form. And on that note, boxing pose, I will see you later. If you've got any questions, guys, and if in case you missed it and you want to ask this later on in the catch-up, just type it and I'll answer it. Have a good day, everyone. Go out and enjoy the snow. Take care. Bye.